Zeus was the mighty king of the gods, lord of Olympus, ruler of the skies. He hurled thunderbolts, commanded storms, and made the earth tremble at his power. Mortals and immortals alike trembled before him. Yet even Zeus, the supreme leader of the cosmos, knew fear. He had faced countless foes, battled titans and giants, defeated gods and monsters, but none inspired such primal fear as Nyx, the primordial goddess of the night. Nyx was more than just a deity. She was an eternal shadow, a whisper of chaos, a force of nature. Older than Zeus, the Titans, and the very structure of reality, she predated the dawn of time. Born from the void of chaos itself, she existed before light touched the world. Her mere presence brought shadows and mystery. Wherever she walked, darkness deepened, a silent testament to her ancient power. When she spread her wings, night covered the world, hiding everything in her inky embrace. She wasn't merely darkness, but personified the mysteries it concealed. The gods often felt uneasy in her presence, as if the fabric of existence thinned, revealing something too terrible and vast for their limited understanding. Despite her immense power, Nyx preferred to remain hidden. She didn't dwell on Olympus or walk among the mortals. Her home was in the deepest, darkest parts of the underworld, far from prying eyes and the touch of sunlight. From her shadowy cave, she would rise each evening, casting off the cloak of day and draping the heavens in night. As the sun dipped below the horizon, she would spread her dark wings, summoning the shadows that danced at her command. Then she would return to her mysterious realm, leaving behind a sky filled with stars. But Nyx wasn't just a bringer of darkness. She was a weaver of fates, a manipulator of dreams, and a dispenser of retribution. Her influence extended beyond the veil of night, touching every aspect of existence. She was also the mother of powerful beings who personified aspects of the darkness that birthed them. Hypnos, the god of sleep, so gentle yet so irresistible that even the gods succumbed to his embrace. Thanatos, the embodiment of death, whose touch was as inevitable as the setting sun. Nemesis, the goddess of vengeance, whose retribution was swift and merciless. And the three fates, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, who controlled the threads of destiny, determining the length of mortal lives and the course of their fates. These children of Nyx represented forces beyond Zeus's control. Sleep, death, vengeance, and fate. They were as much a part of the cosmic order as his thunderous decrees. Zeus could hurl lightning bolts, command storms, and bend the wills of mortals, but he couldn't control sleep or death. He couldn't defy the fate's decisions nor escape Nemesis's retribution. One story vividly illustrates his respect for her and the depth of his fear. During a fierce war between the gods and the Titans, Hera, Zeus's wife and queen of the gods, devised a cunning plan to gain an advantage. She called upon Hypnos, Nyx's son, hoping to lull Zeus into a deep slumber, making him vulnerable to the Titans. With the king of the gods asleep, Hera believed she could rally support and turn the tide of battle in their favor. However, Zeus woke in a rage, realizing he'd been tricked. He immediately set out to find Hypnos, determined to punish him for his transgression. Zeus pursued Hypnos across the skies, hurling thunderbolts that shook the foundations of the cosmos. Hypnos, terrified and knowing that his father's wrath was inescapable, fled for his life. He ran until his wings ached, seeking refuge in his mother's cave. There, hidden in the heart of her shadowy realm, he was safe from his father's pursuit. Zeus arrived at the mouth of the cave, but he paused at the threshold of darkness. He knew the danger that lay within and didn't dare follow. Even the king of the gods respected the sanctity of the night goddess's domain. He turned back, leaving Hypnos unharmed and acknowledging his inability to challenge Nyx directly. Though Zeus held dominion over the heavens, he understood there were powers far greater and older than his own. Nyx represented the unknown, the uncontrollable, the eternal. and he knew that night was as inevitable as death. Nyx didn't need armies or weapons. Her mere presence demanded respect and fear. This was the true extent of her power. In contrast, Zeus's power was based on order, control, and dominance. He reveled in the light of day, in the clarity of a bright blue sky, in the sound of thunder echoing across the heavens. Night, on the other hand, was a realm of mystery and ambiguity, where the absence of light allowed the imagination to run wild, conjuring up both wonder and terror. It was a realm that Zeus, with his unwavering need for order and clarity, found unsettling. When the night descended and darkness veiled the earth, he could no longer see the deeds of mortals or the movements of the gods. He couldn't hear the prayers whispered in temples or the hymns sung in his honor. Without the illumination of day, he felt a disconnection from his domain. The night was also a time for rest, for the moon to watch over a sleeping world. It was a time for dreams, for the subconscious to roam free. And it was during these dreams that the veil between the worlds was thinnest. It was during these dreams that Nyx's power was most potent. Furthermore, the night was associated with magic and the supernatural. Rituals performed under the cloak of darkness were believed to hold greater power. Spells cast in the shadows were thought to be more effective, and the spirits of the dead were said to walk among the mortals. All of this was deeply unsettling to Zeus, who valued rationality and the tangible. He preferred to deal with concrete issues that he could see and understand rather than delve into the abstract world of dreams, magic, and the dead. However, despite his fears, Zeus knew that night was as essential to the balance of the cosmos as day. He couldn't banish Nyx or destroy her followers. Attempting to do so would risk disrupting the very fabric of reality. Instead, he chose to respect her power, acknowledging that even the king of the gods had his limits. He learned to navigate the complexities of the night, to understand the importance of dreams, magic, and the dead. And he came to appreciate the wisdom that lay hidden in the darkness. Even in his moments of greatest power, Zeus knew that night was approaching, and when it came, he welcomed it as a necessary part of the cycle of existence. He understood that just as night followed day, so too would darkness eventually give way to light, and in that knowledge he found solace. Night is eternal. Nyx rules forever. The great Zeus respects the darkness, for he knows that in the endless expanse of existence there are forces beyond his comprehension, beyond his control. Even the King of Gods recognizes the majesty of night. He sees the beauty of starlight, understands the peace of quiet skies, feels the hush that blankets the world. Zeus may shake the heavens, but he also rests when night descends. For in the vast tapestry of existence, there are patterns woven that even gods must respect. The rise and fall of day, the ebb and flow of light and dark, these are rhythms of the cosmos. Zeus, mighty though he is, doesn't defy these rhythms. He too submits to the pull of night. Mortal men may cower, hide, or dream beneath night's soft cloak. Yet Zeus watches. He sees in the darkness a different kind of clarity. He watches, learning what night reveals. The stillness of night allows for introspection. While mortals sleep, the great Zeus surveys his realms anew. He sees not just the earth and sky, but the souls of men. He sees potential, aspirations, and fears hidden in the hearts of mortals. Through night, he gains insight denied in the clamor of day. The silence of night lets him hear prayers, pleas, and promises whispered not just to him, but to all the gods. He listens for they too reveal their secrets in the quiet hours. Night brings forth change, growth, and transformation. Zeus sees crops nourished by the moon, animals rearing young, and destinies shifted under the cover of darkness. He watches, learning what night teaches. For night is the realm of magic, of spells cast and fates spun. Zeus, ever vigilant, sees the raw power of night's energies. He sees the balance it brings, the checks on his own authority, and the ways in which night's forces test and temper his own. He respects that power. So while mortals fear night, trembling before its vastness, Zeus stands in awe. He sees the grandeur of it, the majesty that unfolds in the darkness. He sees the intricate dance of light and shade, the play of shadows that tell stories of their own. He sees the tapestry of existence woven anew each night, revealing its hidden patterns and connections. Zeus, the king of gods, the ruler of the heavens, the wielder of thunder, he too is humbled by night. He sees the transient nature of his own power, the impermanence of all things. He sees the constant flux of the universe, the eternal recurrence of darkness and dawn. And in this humbling realization, he finds a deeper understanding of his place in the grand tapestry of existence.